What up, nerds? It's your boy Mark here. I've been writing Go recently, a lot of Go, and I've made a unusual discovery.
It's faster than Python.
By a humongous magnitude. Now, if you're like me, you don't really write full proper programs. I mainly write scripting programs, okay? But Go is the first time I've ever used a compiled language outside of a educational environment. I've got a little example here, so let me go through what I've done. I made a Go program called Dice, and it rolls like a D&D dice, you know, like the I've probably got one on my desk because I'm a nerd. I do. You know, like these ones. So you can effectively roll a 20-sided dice from the command line if you wanted. I thought that would be cool and useful. If I want to roll one D20, so one die 20, one 20-sided dice, it rolls a 20-sided dice and you get 11. But you can also roll 4 D20s if you want, and it'll give you the results from that. Or you could put 4 D100s in, 100-sided dice, and it doesn't limit you. You can go 4 D1000. There you go. So I thought that was quite cool, and it's a good learning opportunity, I thought. Let me quickly show you how that works. Alright, here we go. So, let's look at main here. So, it checks if you've provided something, 2d4, whatever. Then it uses roll with the argument you've provided. So let's look at roll, the function roll. Takes a dice it takes what you pass in as a string, and it will return an integer. So our total value is 0 at the moment. We add to this when we need to. And then we split the dice, so it's 1d4, and we split on the d. So this is doing a bit like what cut does. So it splits the 1, the d, and the 4. So it'll be 1 and 4 we'll get. So amount is split 0, so that's the 0th 1, that's the 1, and then this is the 4, the 1d4. You don't get the d because it splits on the d. And then, I don't know if this is correct, but I have to convert the dice to integers, which is what this function up here does. That converts it to integers because obviously when you pass a value on the command line, that accepts it as a string, okay? And then the integer amount, the same thing. Then we seed our random number generator. You need to do that. I just use the current time to seed it. This is so that this basically initializes your random number generator, a bit like a seed in Minecraft, okay? If you provide the same seed, you get the same random result. Similar sort of thing. I don't think that's exactly how it works, but that is the concept there, okay? Now, this is just a for loop. It loops for the amount of dices we have, so 1, 2, 3, d4. If it's 4d4, this will loop 4 times, and then it just randoms the amount of dice, so the integer dice there. So if that's a 4, it randoms 1 and 4, adds 1 to it because random can give 0, and a dice does not have 0. And then it returns the results. It adds those to total. If we do 4d4, it'll roll that 4 times and get the results, like 1, 4, 2, and 3, and add them all together, so that'll be 9, probably. And then it will return 9. 4d4 gives 9. Okay. That's basically what it does, and in Go, this is very quick, okay? This is the bottleneck, I believe. And in Go, so you actually compile down the program. So I've compiled the program here. So if I open this program, look, it's just a binary file, right? This is what a Go program actually is. And then you can search in that program. Cool little tip here, like 2d4. Dice. Never mind. I used that wrong. How do I do it? Dice. Yeah, so look, the only thing that will be readable, you can search for all the strings in this file here, dice, and then we can grep for like amount, let's say, or 1d20. Grep 1d20. And there you go. So we've got these strings are hidden in this file somewhere because they're in plain text. For example, 1d4 or 1d20. And there's a bunch of other stuff in there. But anyway, that's just besides the point. A Python program you can read all the time. So I have dice.py, which basically does exactly the same thing, right? There's the for loop and the adding loop. It's much, much easier though, because you don't need to do all the integer conversions. But this does exactly the same thing. It splits the string. So this is why you might want to use Python, because it's so much bloody quicker and easier to explain. Like, you can read this code on one screen, you know? It is using NumPy, which is written in C, by the way, which is compiled, but that's only to do the... That's not doing anything, actually. I believe I can remove this and it would work. Disregard that. I tried to do that to see if it would speed it up, and it did not speed it up using NumPy. So this is a problem with Python, not with I thought maybe the random number generator is the bottleneck, so like getting a random number, but that is not the bottleneck, it turns out. It turns out the bottleneck, I believe, is this for loop here. So let me show you that working. Python dice.py, it says, you know, oh no, and you go 2d20. Alright, now, let me show you the speed comparison here. So if I do time, Python, dice.py, and then let's get 1000 d20 here. Pretty quick, but if we do that with a 9,999 sided dice, and we get 9999999 instances of it, this will take a while, alright? I will come back to you when this is done. Okay, that was taking way too long, so I'm going to cut that down a bit to like this much. 9, there we go. That was too little. Let's add a 9 to it. Just want to make this a test that is... Why is Python being quick all of a sudden? When does it exponentially grow? It has started to exponentially grow, friends. Okay, nearly a second now. Oh, I want to get like a minute. 3 seconds. Alright, one more. How about we do one more? Here we go. 3 seconds. No. Bit more than that. It's gonna eventually take bloody a year. Oh, there we go. That was a good time. Alright, 36 seconds it took to run that. Now watch this, friends. Time. Right, so same dice, okay? Dice.go. /dice, which is the compiled Go binary. Boom. 0.6 seconds. Python is 30 times slower than Go. Wow. Who would have thought that? So look, this is not a good test, okay? This is this is what you call, you know, this is my own personal observations. This is the bro science of programming here, okay? But it is obvious that even though if I don't know why it's really slow, it is slow. So from my own observations, Python is about 30 times slower than Go. So use Go for things that you need maths for. Well, no. Use Go for things that require speed, but use Python for basically everything else. I still use Python for basically everything else because development time is much, much easier, which is all that matters for the most part. How often are you ever going to be limited by Python speed? Very, very, very rarely. And if you are, you can just write that one bit in Go or C or whatever. Yeah. Use the appropriate tool for the job. Mark out. Lots of love.